Is everybody ready? We're going to open up with a brief statement of coach, and we'll take some questions after that.
First of all, sorry that took so long. We appreciate you guys being out. Appreciate our fans continuing to show up for us. Really proud of our girls. You know, I think when your back's against the wall and adversity strikes, it says a lot about your character when you can continue to show up. And it's hard. You invest a lot and you're disappointed, mad, sad, pissed that the ball doesn't bounce your way. But when you keep showing up the way these guys have in the locker room and keep battling, and if anything, in my opinion, they continue to lean closer together and lock arms even more. And so a win like this is, they deserve it. They worked their tails off for it. I thought Avery set the tone out of the gates. She took a pretty good elbow to the cheekbone and showed just a ton of toughness and resiliency. I thought our resiliency as a whole was a lot better tonight. We talked a little bit this last week about, you know, in each of the first 6 games, there's been runs that we just get deflated. We weren't putting together 40 minutes, and we let a 4-point game swing into an 11 or 12-point swing. And just our ability to fight back and get stops was really important. And so they could identify those moments in the locker or in the huddles and really address it with each other. Obviously, a big-time defensive stop. Lanaya did a tremendous job creating the opportunity for us to get out and go in transition, and a big-time play by Slaughter here. I thought Judd's leadership, just the way she shows up for this team, leads us in so many different ways. And so just a great, great team win for us tonight against a very, very good Mississippi State team.
Grace, it looked like you almost ran out of time there at the end. Just take me through that last possession.
Yeah, I mean, Lanai did a great job defensively getting, the tip play. And I think, my mindset just with getting the ball was kind of our transition offense was going pretty well. So just kind of got out and ran and got a little too deep in the paint at first. So I was going to pull it out just to see what there was. And you're right, I heard the clock counting down and I was like, it's time to go. So, just went to that left hand and thankfully it went in.
Then you talk about that play, but immediately afterwards, shot goes in, crowd's going wild, you're mobbed by your teammates. Just what was that experience like, especially as someone who's a sophomore and has already meant so much to this program?
Yeah, no, I think that's, something I'm going to remember forever. And I think that was the immediate sign of that shot did fall was the dog pile. But it was super exciting. And I just think this team is super special, and kind of bouncing off what Coach P said, we are super close. And so we all know how hard we work on and off the court. So to see, the scoreboard on our favor after this game means a lot.
Coach, when you talk about that last play, I believe you had one more timeout in your back pocket. Was there ever the thought of using it, trying to set up something, or just playing through the motion of the offense?
Yeah, I think we had 2, but we went into that last huddle telling them that we want to play in transition. It's a game of chess, and sometimes you're right and sometimes you're not, and great players make great plays, but we just felt like playing in transition is better for us than letting the defense get set. A lot of times I think in situations like that, you go to a timeout, you draw up a man play, and they change their defense to a zone, or vice versa. And so, this way we knew what they were going to be in transition defense. They were going to be in a man. We really wanted to be aggressive, get a stop, which was huge by our team, and obviously Lanaya, and then get out and go in transition. And when it got to be about 6 seconds, 5 seconds, I contemplated calling a timeout. It didn't look like we had much going, but pretty good hands to have the ball in at the end of the game, and figured her footwork is so elite that she could at least get a shot off for us, and so hit a big-time shot. That's what big-time players do.
Coach, biggest sequence of the game, a player who had 40 points, I believe, brings the ball down the court, and Lanaya Randall's guarding her, and you guys need to stop. What kind of trust do you have in Lanaya to shine in the biggest moments of the game?
Yeah, well, I think she loves the big moments. She takes a lot of pride in her defense. I think she's an elite level defender. She did a heck of a job against Gaston at Auburn, who's one of the top players in the country. I think she really shines the brightest when she has those one-on-one matchups versus sometimes in our defensive flow, we'll switch some things, but when we say you need to be a lockdown on a certain kid, she shows up for us and produces at a high level. And so couldn't ask for a better matchup from that standpoint. That's who we'd want on her in that moment, and made a big play for us.
Coach, you talked about the ability to fight back in those runs. What moments in this game stuck out to you?
The timeouts that we had, I felt like the eye contact, there was no, we didn't get too high, we didn't get too low. It was just that next play mentality. The resiliency was so big. I mean, they got up, we could just continue to chip away with our defense, and that's what we talked about, getting stops. We gave up, it seemed like a lot of offensive rebounds in that second half. We did a pretty good job in the first. In the second half, it seemed like, even on the gates, they got an and one. I think the second possession, they had a transition and then an and one, and just the ability to recenter and fight through those runs, which is exactly what we talked about earlier this week in the locker room, is our ability to respond quicker than we have been.
Grace and Ashton, from a player's perspective, what does this kind of win do for the team moving forward?
We just came off a bye week, and I think the biggest thing over just that period of time was just a reset. Coming into this next half of conference play, we're 0-0, and I mean, after tonight's win, we're 1-0, and I think just having that mindset, having the change, and I felt like we did a great job attacking this week in practices, super competitive, just getting back to where we were at in just the non-con and kind of gaining our confidence back. So just a big win to go into the second half of conference play.
Yeah, I think Ashton hit it on the head with that, just being able to grow a little bit in practice, and I think those bye weeks were really special for that, just to kind of really reflect on, what the first 6 games looks like, and what the rest of conference play can really look like, and I think tonight was a great view of that.
Coach, we talked about Grace's final possession, but put together a pretty good 40 overall, scored a career high 31 points. What do you think made her so effective as a scorer today?
Well, I know that we've been really challenging her to be more aggressive offensively and just hunting more shots. I think she's a really unselfish player and doesn't want to, she doesn't want anyone to feel like she's forcing the issue, but we need her to. We need her to be more aggressive, and I thought it had the chance to be a pretty good night for her early. She shot a couple deep threes, and I was like, okay, this is how we're going to play tonight. But I don't mind it. I mean, these guys, we've got a handful of young ladies that really put in a lot of time. And so, I like them being aggressive offensively. I think when we can get going in transition, we're at our best. But in particular, with Slaughter, I think off the bounce, she's really got elite level footwork. She's got a good touch around the basket. She's got the mid-range. She's a 3-level scorer. And tonight from the free throw line, both of these guys, outstanding job, 8 for 8 and 7 for 7. Huge in a game like that when it's a one-possession game to be able to, make sure you convert on those. So big night from the free throw line for us as well.
Coach, Angelique and Gamakundi really started to get going, it seemed, in the fourth quarter. And what were you telling her in between plays and stuff like that, and just to get her going, to get her more inside the paint and stuff like that?
Yeah, she's got the ability to definitely help us. I mean, I think she's strong, she's athletic, she's a little undersized, but I think when we can get her motor going, and she gets that adrenaline going, I mean, she's more than enough for us. And, I think early in the first half, we just felt like she wasn't really competing at the level that we needed her to, kind of rolling out of some screens, not as aggressive. And I think part of that is you get in foul trouble game after game after game. It's hard to come out and be aggressive. So part of it's probably trying to see how the officials are going to call the game. But, she's a kid that wanted to be out there, has a hard time when I sub her out. You can just see her on the bench. And I thought she did a really good job from a rebounding standpoint for us when we needed it.
Going back a little further in that final sequence, you're down by 4, then Abby Schreck peels off, hits a big time three.
Big time.
What do you think that makes her so calm under pressure, and how you can trust her in that moment, especially someone who's not a starter who comes off the bench and plays relatively limited
The
minutes?
pace that she shot that with was elite, wasn't it? But again, just like Judd, just like Slaughter, I mean, a young lady that gets in the gym a ton and works really hard at her craft. So they've earned the right to hit those shots. I think she's just got a very steady personality as well. She's a calming effect, I think, for our team when she's out there. Doesn't get too high, too low. And I think she knows, you know, from a foot speed standpoint, you know, she's in over her head in the SEC, but she's got to use her mind and a change of speed and got to play with different gears. And she's pretty dang good at that. Just high IQ young lady, and she's got a beautiful shot, and just trying to find a way to get her more of those.
Coach, 87% from the line tonight, 15 of 15 from these two combined. Actually, is that something that puts a smile on your face?
What puts a smile on my face is 10 turnovers. That's what really puts a smile on my face. You know, I think points per possession we're pretty dang good. We just got to make sure we maximize our possessions. And so, just again, we've had some games we've handled it well, some games that we've struggled, but they have the ability to do it. And I think, you know, what they did tonight was really, really important for us, just that ball security. We knew that was going to be a point of emphasis, but definitely, like I said, those free throws, you got to be able to knock them down at a high level in this league if you want to have a chance, because so many times it comes down to single-digit possessions and they add up. So,
Sam.
well done.
Sorry. Ashton, you all battled valiantly on the boards against a team that is one of the better rebounding teams in the country. You had 8 of them. What do you think went into you guys not letting them dominate the glass like they had to a lot of opponents in the past?
I think that was just a big emphasis in our bye week, you know, coming in with that grit, knowing that free throws were going to matter, and just, you know, what comes with free throws is boxing out and trying to get those defensive boards, and I think that's what we showed tonight. I'm trying to look at the rebounds. That's okay, we didn't win the rebounds, but, you know, I mean, every possession matters in a game like this, and I think that's what it came down to, so I thought we showed a lot of grit just fighting for the boards in this game.
Coach, you're wearing the shirt we got Pat. I think, you know, on a night where you're honoring Pat Summitt, what lessons from such a legendary figure could you have maybe taken into this game, and, you know, what lessons are you going to take coming out of this game after honoring such a, you know, renowned figure?
Yeah. You know, I've always been a huge fan of her. I remember as a kid just reading her books and following her teams, and just somebody that blazed a trail for so many of us. And I always did it the right way. Just, you know, very stern, very driven, but also very loving and supportive with her players. I've read about every book you can read. I followed her very closely in her time as a coach. And she's just a legend. I mean, she did things the right way. I think she challenged her players. She had the stare of death, big eyes, and just could stare you down, but also so compassionate and loving. But the biggest thing is, for me, I just really respect, honestly, everything about her. She was way ahead of her time, and like I said, blazed a trail for so many people, and just an incredible role model as a mom, as a coach, in everything that she did.
We'll take 1 or 2 more if you guys have them.
Grace, your coach talked about you're challenging you to be aggressive. You came out pretty aggressive in that first quarter. What was going through your head in that first quarter?
Yeah, I think as they've, you know, been talking to me about being more aggressive offensively, it's just kind of been a little bit of a mindset shift, you know, going into the game and just understanding that there's still a difference between, you know, the right shot and a bad shot, but just, you know, being aggressive can help, and not every night is going to be your night offensively. So the night you do have a couple drop to you, like they were in gap coverage, so just being able to move the ball quickly when you need to. And I think, you know, my teammates did a great job of finding me tonight in those situations when, you know, maybe one was helping in too far, and I think we just really played freely tonight overall.
Grace, was there any specific point tonight where you realized that you were on and that it was going to be your night?
Not really, to be honest. I think I just try to go into each game with kind of, same mindset and to just really have fun with it. We work so hard off the court, all of us do, so being able to just play relaxed and free when we get on the court, I think is ideal, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we should be talking about our 6 rebounds.
We'll take one more if you guys have them.
Coach Jordan on the other side of Mississippi State, what did you see from her that you think made her have her such an offensively efficient game and not just just for them on their side?
Yeah, I think she was a great player last year, and I think she really elevated her game. She's a veteran. She can score on 3 levels. She does a great job getting to the free throw line. Just quick, plays with different gears, can stretch the defense. She's, I think, just a really hard guard. Your best defense against a young lady like that is not letting her catch. And we didn't do a tremendous job with that. We were switching some things off ball, and so had different matchups. But she, she's got the ability to really make it hard on her direct line drives, which resulted in quite a few free throws for her, but also her ability to shoot the 3 and get out and play in transition.
Dylan, one more.
Thank you. Coach, you talked about what this win means to the players. What does this mean to both the program of Mizzou and simply to you as a coach, especially after these last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about them. They work so hard. I'm just so happy for them, happy for our staff. I think we've got a really great group that, we just sharpen each other every day and challenge each other to model the behavior we're asking out of our players, and that's resiliency and to continue to work hard. But I'm just fired up for them, really. It's really cool. I've said this before, but it's a pretty special group in regards to their work ethic, and just they do so much more than what's required. And, it's the hardest thing as a coach to just see them not see the rewards that they've worked so hard for. And so proud of them. I think so many life lessons in a game of basketball. But right now it was just really cool to see the joy in that locker room and see them celebrate.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank
Come
you,
out to
Coach.
Tiger Talk, 6 p.m. tomorrow at Harpost.